Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys some time to read this blurb by Lolo Jones. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to dive into some game today and some trends. Like I said, you're going to be getting some dating forecasts, some market analysis. You're going to get a lot because even though I do two things, research and work, I sprinkle a little kicking it, in here, in there here and there, but for the most part, it's research and work. So you may be noticing the far cry again, in which I've done a video about the far cry from women and their current dating woes. It appears to be that every woman is having trouble dating. No, you don't really see a lot of positive dating analysis from women. You see a lot of complaints. You see a lot of crashes, if you will. You see this because you have women who have a misconception of compatibility versus expectation. See, what compatibility is when you're on like even ground with the woman. Let's say, for instance, you are in college. You're into things that refine you. So meeting a woman in that environment is a telltale sign that you may be dealing with someone that is compatible to you, because you're doing some of the same things. You're exposed to some of the same things, ideas, schools, sports, etc., etc. So you become compatible because you understand life from a certain perspective. Certain things make sense to you. You've seen things work a certain way. So you pretty much follow in that same footstep. That's why you see a lot of fathers pass down legacies. The VP, his dad is the CFO and all this type of shit. So when you're on the path of refining and becoming successful, it is not just one path. The delusional dating aspect is, again, rooted in the expectation. She's thinking that, I seen one of my guys make this post the other day, that it's crazy how people feel they expect more than what they're worth. And you saw a few women come in the comments calling him Kevin Samuels or Kevin Samuels Jr. These are the quintessential, I would say, responses from the hit dog will holler phrase. And it's simply because when people have been told that they're above a lot of things, they are better than a lot of people. Again, women think that they're better than men. So the way we see accountability and the way they see it, it doesn't match. But she's in the mind frame that she deserves a man that's going to save her from herself ultimately. Because again, you only start to see this resentment as they get older in age. And I'll get into the next part of the video, which is how dating the wrong women can make you the right man, but it doesn't work in the opposite. So with her delusional dating, she thinks she is supposed to be given, all of this amnesty, forgiveness. I get to start over. You hear the term, the born again virgin. You have women who been fucking and sucking since they may have been 12, 13, no breaks, but all of a sudden at 28, 29, let's say 32, they say they're going to go celibate. They say they're going to reinvent themselves in the church. They're going to become a born again virgin because they're going to go through a period of abstinence, which again is no knock. Once you realize your choices and where they have led you, you want to try something different. I get that. However, the delusion is that she's been taught that her God or mystery God or JC is this all forgiving entity that no matter what you do, it's okay. no matter who you do it to is okay. You know, you have people doing some of the most treacherous things and believing that it's just simply okay, it happened, let's get over it type thing. It doesn't work. It doesn't work in that fashion. So she thinks that men are supposed to acquiesce in the same fashion, that we should, tolerate, let them run rampant because there has not been any system of consequence for a woman's behavior. When you look at the history, you look at Emmett Till, all this woman had to do was lie, and this young black man lost his life. So that formed, you know, this mindset that, women, they don't really know any better, yet they do. But they're just emotionally driven because there are consequences of, severe ramifications. They curve that emotional binge. You may want to get crazy, but you're like, if I do that, man, this gonna happen. And this is across the board. So her delusion is that you're going to forgive her and give her the things that she's prayed to God for, because she knows she's connected to you through the Most High. She thinks the Most High is going to bless her through the man. That's why she wants this man to be everything. She wants him to be in the vision or in the image that she has in her mind of her Savior. So she wants it on earth. And that's the thing. Men and God are not the same. Excuse me. It's certain levels to, being existing. You want these things, but you can't say why you want these things. No one can tell me other than it looks good is this, that they want a Mercedes G-Wagon. If you can get one, if you can afford one, you would get one, but you can't tell me why. Now, there's a few, car enthusiasts that understands the technology in the G-Wagon and why it's valued at that, but most women will want one and not know this. Know that it has the four-wheel drive and the rollover prevention technology. They wouldn't know that, this is the most durable SUV on the road in most cases. So the wants that a woman has is too high for men to meet. So what they'll tend to do is sabotage anything that does not look perfect. Again, she just stated that she ghosted the guy she was dating for 8 months because he was put in the friend zone and excuse me, doing all of these things that gave her a sense of insecurity. He knew what he was doing. He was vetting her. Because again, women play these roles. Again, she says she's a virgin and all of these, particulars, but you have to place those features about yourself in play. They have to play some type of, it's just like a basketball player being 6'6", 6'10", 7'1", athletic built. Hey man, you need to use that to your advantage. Let's get into sports. You are a dominant gender. I was saying in a lot of cases, a freak of nature. When you see Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, these guys, Giannis, they're anomalies. So they use their features to their advantage. Okay, I can use this in sports. This will give me a big payday. This will save my future, my kids' future, and my kids' kids, things of that nature. So women would like to pat themselves on the back that they're these things. They have not had sex. They, abstain. They have, got this education. But how does it work? What does the application look like when it comes to a relationship? It really doesn't work. Now, on to second end, how men date and how women date is totally different. Dating the wrong women can make you the right man, because what will happen is nothing trumps experience. Experience is the best teacher in failure and in success, because without failure you get no success. That's the biggest obstacle on people pursuing things outside of what they've been trained to pursue. Jobs, mediocre lifestyle, mediocre women, mediocre things. So you get complacent and cool with that because that's what you've been taught. You haven't broke out of that train of thought. So when you go through these experiences with all variety type of women personalities, ages, ethnicities, you get a well-rounded summary of how women behave across the board, and you get a good analysis on how the few gems operate versus the mass. You can start to point out that's how when you hear men speak about a woman's behavior, you see certain women get offended. And it's because that the women, they exude those behaviors. Excuse me. They exude those behaviors, so they get offended because you're talking about me. So they respond in a way that you're personally attacking them. You notice this. Well, baby, I don't know you. I'm just speaking about I'm just speaking about a general consensus that I got across the board, and with you got your guys who rock on the same level, they get access to women the same way you do. You compare notes here and there. So you see and hear about these things across the board. So you start to develop, okay, women that fit this archetype, this phenotype, this look, this profile, they do XYZ. Women that fit this profile, they do XYZ. Two different groups of women. And then you got your few sprinkles where they're super, super rare. You get an encounter with them and, they go off, get married, or you never see them again. Whatever the case may be, you'll have all of that. So speaking on the behaviors, it puts things into perspective because as a man, you will want to have a vast experience with women before you choose to settle down, if you will, or before you choose to put a woman in a position to give you children, a family. You're ready to, settle down. So that is something that you would want to have it's almost like getting into an industry. You want to know or have a good sense of an industry before you jump head first in it. Like get the information, learn the ins and outs, trial and error here. Then once you have a certain level of experience, then you get into it. But on the reverse, this does not work in the favor of women. See, women have a thing that they went through so many bad, quote unquote, bad men, toxic men. This has made them refined. In this case, they know what they want now. Bullshit. Anything they can say to make themselves justified in choosing the wrong men, they realize they need the right man now because life is kicking in. The bills are kicking in. You want to have money machines in place, businesses. So you put more focus on that aspect versus the lovey-dovey shit. See, women have this fantasy. It's going to be peaches and cream, flowers. We're going to be going to trips to Dubai and all this type of shit, the Maldives and all that, without putting in the hard blood, sweat, and tears to get the money machines to where they need to be so that we can go to these places. But dating the wrong man does not make you the right woman because you carry all of that energy from these wrong men into these new relationships, and they constantly show a weakness, insecurities, destructive nature, and a man who's, let's say, awakened or woke, if you will, red pill, whatever you want to call it, they're not going to risk what they're trying to do to fix you. They're not going to risk what they're trying to do to fix you, or because you finally realize that this particular guy that is in front of you, because these are the only options you have, this is the guy that you need, and you convince him, you try to manipulate him and getting into a beta male provider position because you're just looking for help at this moment. You don't have anything to offer this man. And you have, before the late Kevin Samuels passed, he asked these women, why do you want a high value male? Or a high value man in quotations, or why do you want these type of men? And none of these women could say why, other than I just want someone who's on my level. You just want a man in a position. You don't want to give anything of substance to a man because you have already given that to the wrong men, whether it was at one point, one time, or you spread it out amongst several different men. By any chance, you gave it away, and you cannot give that energy in which you have given. You cannot duplicate it. The imprint has already made. This guy is just someone you will. All right, I'll fuck him, here and there, but we can go on dates, and he gonna pay bills and shit. So I'll take him, and you guys become the fall guy. But incompatible dating versus delusional dating, again, this is simply the difference in being from the same cloth, the same environment, same values, same future goals, etc. Knowing the positions that we play, knowing what to do if we come across one another. The delusional dating is having these false ideologies that men supposed to do this, supposed to do that, supposed to say this, supposed to say that. All that's far fetched. You've been Tyler Perry'd. You've been Tyler Perry. You've been sold a dream, and you now are noticing that you have been sold a dream. That's why you see these rants from these women conveying their disdain for the current dating pool. They're conveying their gripes with how men are treating them. You're going to see more of this. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Day Master.